It's been years since Canon gave us a true top-of-the-line cinema camera, and they've been criticized a lot recently for missing features or holding back on innovation. But this time, I think they hit the mark just right. This is Canon's new C400, but you know that, and you probably know about the specs, the triple native ISO, 6K RAW, internal NDs, and you probably also know that somehow people are still on this camera. I get it. With all the competition in the cinema camera world, everyone wants to see crazy innovations from camera manufacturers like Lumix's insane IBIS, Red's global shutter sensors, and more. But Canon just isn't like that. They're incremental in their innovation, always improving slightly from one camera to the next, and I like that. Tech evolves so fast, and it's fun to have all the new features in your expensive camera, but having the newest stuff always comes with drawbacks. Either the camera is full of annoying quirks and you have to change a bunch of settings just to get the shot, or it's just unreliable. When you buy such an expensive camera, it's to achieve professional work, and above all the insane frame rates, super high ISOs, and compressed RAW codecs stands one thing more important than everything else: reliability. A cinema camera is a tool, and all tools need to be reliable, and that's where the C400 excels. As the operator, having the pleasure of using a camera that just works and always does without any exceptions is the best of luxuries. With the C400, Canon has gathered all the best innovations of the past 5 years. Multiple base ISOs, high-quality compressed codecs, backside illuminated sensor, and much more. And added them to what they're already great at making: rugged cinema cameras with all the outputs you can need, great powering options, and comprehensive aftermarket support. For the work I do, I'm looking for a versatile camera that lets me go from shooting handheld in the middle of nowhere at -40 degrees to shooting a high-profile commercial in a well-lit studio. And it just turns out that the C400 checks all the right boxes. Watching me praise this camera, it's easy to think that I'm just a Canon fanboy. After all, everyone that says anything good about Canon is a fanboy, right? I've been using Canon cameras for more than 8 years now, but in that time I also worked with Sony, Lumix, Blackmagic, and Red cameras, and there's things about all these cameras that I love. Here at Nomad, we own a Sony FX30, which we love and use for a lot of our content. But in a world where professional cameras are so expensive, we had to choose just one camera for our most high-profile work, and it turns out that the Canon C400 was the Swiss Army knife that we needed. With all that out of the way, after using the camera for 3 months, we have a lot to talk about. Obviously, we are super happy with the camera, but more precisely, how is it used on actual projects? Coming from a Canon C70, the C400 is for sure a bigger and heavier camera, especially rigged out with a cage, monitor, handles, and V-mount battery. Because I'm the kind of guy who loves shooting handheld, after a long day of shooting, my arms start to hurt a bit. So I guess investing into an easy rig would be a good idea moving forward. But for now, using the shoulder rig when possible and docking the camera on the tripod between takes does the job. There's two good things that come from the size and weight of a rigged out C400. First, and you've probably heard it so many times, it makes your shots more stable. I know everyone says that, but wow, does it actually work. After using a C70, an R6 Mark II, and an FX30, holding a C400 just gives zero jitters in your shots and makes your movements flow so smoothly. So I guess I understand now why people with Pocket 4Ks rig the heck out of their tiny cameras. The second upside is the form factor. It's a long camera with an external monitor. This means that when on the shoulder, you can shoot so much more comfortably without the need for an external monitor. The stock monitor bracket and aftermarket options put the LCD at a perfect distance so that you can have your back straight while holding the camera and not be cross-eyed. And if like me, you like going handheld, the camera comfortably cradles on your chest. And if you have a V-mount, you can even rest the camera on your shoulder for higher angles. Apart from the form factor, this camera has a ton of outputs on the body. You get an HDMI, 2 SDIs, 2 mini XLRs, 1 headphone jack, and 1 microphone jack. And other useful ports for more professional sets like timecode, genlock, lanc, and more. For us, it means that this camera is future-proof and can follow us as we work on bigger projects and upgrade our gear. Moving on to the codecs in this camera, it's nice to see so many options. There's flavors of H.264, H.265, and Canon's RAW codec, and most of them work up to 120 frames per second without much drawbacks. Audio options are plentiful with the ability to record up to 4 tracks in 24-bit, and you can choose which input goes to which track and control all the levels individually. Coming from the C70's incredible DGO sensor, I can say that the image from the C400 is on a similar level. It's unfortunate to lose about 2 stops of dynamic range compared to the C70, but I feel like 13 to 14 stops in the compressed codecs, which is what I use the most, is more than enough. I've never felt like needing more dynamic range when shooting with it. What brings the image to the same level as the C70 is the sharpness. Because you get a downsampled 6K image, shooting in low light is where this camera shines. You can denoise the footage in post and still get a sharper image than the C70 while recovering information in the shadows. So although I wish I could have 16 stops of dynamic range in my C400, I'm not mad with what it can deliver, and I enjoy having versatility in post because of the incredible sharpness of the image. In the end, the specs of this camera do matter, but not as much as the ergonomics and ease of use. What I like most about this camera is the attention to details that make it easier to use on a daily basis. The light up buttons are a game changer at night. Having duplicates of the same buttons on screen and on the body makes it easier to reach the most used options. And all the monitoring tools, the removable side handle, the external monitor, and the form factor make this camera such a joy to use. In the end, this is a great camera with little drawbacks that operators are going to appreciate working with. I'm not saying this camera is the right choice for everyone. Maybe an FX6, an Ursa Cine 12K, a Komodo X, or a more compact mirrorless camera is a better choice for what you do. Just make sure that whichever camera you end up buying, you're not just following the hype. Do it because it's the right tool for you. One thing in this world will never change. Every time Canon releases a camera, there's always going to be people shitting on it. As for me, I'm completely satisfied with my purchase, and if your needs are similar to ours here at Nomad Productions and you have the budget, I can without a doubt recommend the Canon C400. But hey, tell us in the comments what camera you use and why it's such a great tool for the type of work you enjoy doing. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.